It's crazy. No, he's like 21 years old. He's just a lad.
Does he have kids?
He is.
He just came out the sack himself.
Hey, get the sauce.
Hey, good morning. Happy Sunday to everyone. It's NFL time, and special shout out to the New England Patriots for giving up about 35 points in the time it took me to take a single piss. Patriots +6 look good about 20 minutes ago. What? Yeah, I mean, who cares? So, yeah, obviously there's a London game going.
Beaver cares.
My 1.5 units cares. I'm banning myself from international bets. That's it. It's simple.
So you're blaming it on the Europeans?
No, I'm not blaming it on the European. I just think that I think that my capping skills when I take it overseas, just simply, I get lost in the culture. Really. That's what it is. So.
He gets lost in the culture. Okay. Yeah. It makes perfect sense. It couldn't be that you're just ass.
Well, that's something I've deeply considered many a times, but I'm a bit more positive these days. It can't be that.
All right. So, yeah, we got however many games. What do we got? 12 games to get to. Coming into this one with some momentum. Yesterday wasn't an explosive college football day, but it was a winning one. And so that makes back-to-back winning college football weeks, which is nice because earlier in the season I was getting rocked. And then NFL, I mean, Denver Thursday night went well for me. I hit a kicker prop. I got the Broncos -2.5. So coming into this Sunday with a little bit of momentum. Let's get into it. First game, Dolphins, Colts, and I have a bet in this game. I am on the Miami Dolphins +3 in this one. Not one of my biggest bets of the day, but I do think I'm on the right side here. Look, I think we could just come out and say that right now, we're just speaking about right now, the Colts are better with Joe Flacco. And that's not a slight at Anthony Richardson. He hasn't played many games. I'm just saying, as it stands right now, the Colts are better with Joe Flacco. In weeks 1 through 3, the games where Anthony Richardson was primarily the quarterback, the Colts were averaging just 194 passing yards per game, 43.7% success rate per dropback, and an average pass rating of 61. That's pretty bad. So, look, the Colts have a good pass protection. They do. Anthony Richardson's going to have time to throw. But check this out. When given a clean pocket, Anthony Richardson has a 65.9 passer rating. A 65.9 passer rating when given a clean pocket. Only Bryce Young is worse than that this year. So, I believe that's 34th out of 35 qualified quarterbacks. So, only Bryce Young is worse when given a clean pocket than Anthony Richardson. So you look at the Colts offense, you're like, oh, they have a good pass protection. Do you even give a shit? Honestly, like, okay, give Anthony Richardson a clean pocket. He's terrible. Sure, he's going to make some plays with his legs. He probably make a big play or two as well through the air. He's got a ton of talent. He's got a big arm. I'm not an Anthony Richardson hater at all, but as it stands right now, Colts offense with Anthony Richardson just isn't very good. And look, on the other side, I understand we got Huntley in there. But he's slowly getting more comfortable. The Miami Dolphins offensive line is healthier than it was a couple weeks ago. They have a ton of weapons. Getting a full +3 here against a Colts team that I don't think is very good. I think Miami's the better team. Obviously, it's Tua out. Makes it a little weird, but I think I'm on the right side in this one. Dolphins +3.
Can I just say, Prop Beaver, that the Colts are 3-3? I just want to put it out.
Can I point out to you that Joe Flacco started a few of those games? I did not know that the GOAT was going to start a few of those games.
Well, that's true. I lean Dolphins if I had to. The Dolphins obviously 0-6 straight up and against the spread. Last 6 games as an underdog. They're struggling, but like Kyle said, that O-line has been atrocious this year. I think their health is going to be key. But my best bet in this game is actually the first leg of my ladder parlay. Also, Tyreek Hill over 55.5 receiving yards. That is a ridiculously low number for Tyreek Hill. We're going against the Colts defense. And yes, I just talked good about the Colts. They're horrendous on defense. So Huntley's the quarterback. That's why we're getting this number of 55.5, but it's just absolutely crazy. He's still getting pounded with targets. He's averaged a little over 100 air yards per game, 12.8 ADOT, 7 and 9 targets the last 2 starts. Last game, he had 69 receiving yards. I'm just not sure what we're doing here. And he actually was missed on a couple bombs that would have just had him go absolutely crazy last game. And then Colts defense, 26 in receiving yards allowed to wide receivers. They struggle to get pressure. I expect Tyreek to have an absolutely huge game in this one. This is like the ultimate buy low spot for Tyreek Hill at 55.5 receiving yards. So I'm taking him over 55.5 and also 70 plus. I think he has a big game here after the bye week. Huntley's got more time also to look at that playbook, get this offense figured out, as well as that O-line being healthier. So give me Tyreek Hill.
Prop Beaver.
He's muted.
I was going to say, I can't hear him.
Yep, I had myself muted there. No problem. Yeah, so because I was typing on the keyboard real quick, I didn't want to make any noise. Yeah, so I like the Dolphins here quite a bit. I guess the gist, Dolphins have had 2 full weeks now with the bye to get Huntley fully familiarized with the offense and his weapons. The first 2 weeks, absolutely disastrous, but he kind of just got thrown into the mix there. Not really going to blame him. Huntley's main struggles have really come when pressured and blitz. Well, guess what? Colts are dead last in pressure rate. They're bottom 5 in blitz rate. And on top of that, they live off of cover 3. If we look at Huntley's numbers thus far with the Dolphins, they're so much better against cover 3 compared to his regular numbers. So I really like a bounce back for Huntley through the air here. On top of that, we got Achane. He's returning to lineup this week after getting concussed in the last game. And it's going to be the first week since week 1 where we have the Dolphins running back room with their full complement with the trio. I mean, we got Jalen Wright, who looked excellent last week. We've got Achane. We've got Mostert now. So that's the full recipe right there. And the Colts rush defense has been a roller coaster. Remember, those first 2 weeks, they looked awful. Then through weeks 3 and 4, they appeared to be back on track. And then the last 2 weeks, 5.3 yards per carry. So not a unit that I trust. And then on top of that, on the other side, I mean, Kyle pointed it out. It sucks to say. I wanted to be an Anthony Richardson guy, but the offense is light years worse without him. And there's no Jonathan Taylor in this one to exploit the Dolphins' biggest weakness thus far defensively. That's been defending the rush. I feel like if you're the odds makers, there's a reason that this 5-1 team against the spread is laying only 3 at home to Tyler Huntley. Also, if you're the odds makers, the Dolphins team total in this one is above the key number of 19.5 across all books. The Dolphins haven't sniffed 17 points since week 1. I know we don't like backing the Dolphins away from home here, but Fins are 9-1 against the spread their last 10 visits to Indy. I think they make it 10-1 their last 11 here.
Steve, can you mute your mic when you're not talking? Because for some reason there's like a weird echo that comes in, and I think Toast is frozen.
And Toast, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Already?
Your image is frozen. I mean, I hear you, but you're frozen on the screen. But if you want to give your pick real quick.
Oh, wait, he's back. All right, what's up?
He's back?
Yep.
Oh, there he goes.
That's weird. I don't even have a pick for this game, so that was all for nothing. I tailed you on the Dolphins, but yeah.
All right.
I apologize.
Let's move on to the next one. The viewers like the Colts. 47% of you guys like the Colts. 36% on Miami. Seattle, Atlanta is the next game. Steve, do you want to bat lead off on your trash ass team that I can't even look at right now?
Wow.
They look terrible, dude.
First of all, they look great the first couple weeks against those
I know.
high school quarterbacks. So don't say anything bad. But their defense is atrocious. What is Coach McDaniel doing? He's brought in here to play defense, and it has been one of the worst defenses I've seen the Seahawks play in a long time. I mean, Hawks are 5-1 at the over for a reason. The Seahawks D-line is just, they can't get off blocks. They can't get pressure. They can't do anything. I expect a ton of points in this game. If I had to bet a side or a total, I'm going over 51.5. This game will be in the 30s more than likely. I put it in some trends parlay we did on the video. It's not a best bet, but my best bet in this game is Geno Smith over 24.5 completions. This guy, he's been over this in 5 straight games, 28 or more completions in 4 of those 5, 30 or more in 3 of those 5. He's actually averaging 31 completions in the last 5 games. I just need 25 here. He's the leader in passing yards in the NFL for a reason. He's got weapons all over. And like I said, the Falcons, they're a team that plays fast, but they're also a team that's been absolutely going crazy on offense lately. And you saw the first couple games were slower a little bit. Teams didn't have to throw the ball as much because they weren't scoring as much, but they are just scoring at an incredible pace right now. And by the way, the Falcons are dead last in quarterback completion percentage this year. That's right. They've given up the highest because they just funnel all the passes right to the middle, right to the short part of the field, middle of the field. They have no problem allowing these short completion percent or passes, and that's why I like this completions. I almost went with pass attempts. You could go yards, but like I said, they're a team that tries not to get beat deep. 3 of the last 4 quarterbacks against the Falcons have gone over this one, including Andy Dalton, Derek Carr, and Patrick Mahomes. So Falcons defense, just with how they play and how they just funnel it and let you just make those easy completions, I think this is just a slam dunk, to be honest with you. I think he gets close to 30 completions like he's been doing every single game. And which is crazy because just to show kind of what I was talking about, they give up the 9th fewest pass yards per attempt. But again, they're giving up the highest completion percentage to quarterbacks and 4th fewest seconds per play. They play fast. Like I said, I think this is a shootout. It's going to be in the 30s. I like the over in this one. And then I also like Geno Smith over the completions. And then real quick, Drake London, anytime touchdown. He has 4 touchdowns in the last 5 games. The crazy part about this is he's the go-to guy, 45.5% red zone target share for this team. I mean, that is exactly who Kirk Cousins looks to. The next closest is Darnell Mooney at 18.2%. He's got 35 targets in the last 3 weeks. We get a shootout. Give me London touchdown. Give me Geno Smith over 24.5 completions. And then I also lean the over also in this game. Seahawks defense.
So I don't disagree with a lot of what you said. I kind of am looking at the Seahawks offense a little differently. I think they're going to run the ball here, and I know that the run game's been a little disappointing in the last couple weeks. In fact, Geno Smith scrambling has been the most successful rusher on the Seahawks the last couple weeks. But if you really look at their schedule and who they've seen recently, I mean, you got the Lions in Detroit, an elite run defense, the Giants in a flat spot, and then the 49ers. I mean, it's not exactly the easiest stretch to run the football. Now you got to finally have a defense you can run the ball on. The Falcons' run defense has been disappointing this year. So when we saw the Seahawks looking great is those games when Kenneth Walker was in there, right, averaging a bunch of yards per clip. It was like 5.2 yards per carry or something. So I think they're going to make it a point to run the ball on Atlanta because I believe that they believe they can. The problem is on the other side of the ball, there's just, like you said, there's so much variance when it comes to the Seahawks defense. We've seen them look through 3 weeks. They were looking like they might be a top 5 defense this year. And in the last 3 weeks, you can make an argument that they're a bottom 5 defense. So the data points on the Seahawks defense are all over the board here. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if they held the Falcons to single digits. I also wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons scored 40. It's too crazy. But one aspect of the game that I do feel pretty confident about is the fact that Seattle's going to be able to move the ball in Atlanta, who, like I said, their defense has been a little bit disappointing, especially against the run, considering they were good against the run last year. So I like the Seahawks to get up and over their team total at 24.5, but there's just too much, like I said, variance on the Seahawks defense side for me to actually put money on this game. So I do not have a bet in this game.
Real quick, I do want to say I actually did almost have Kenneth Walker over rush yards as a play. I will say he just came down with an illness yesterday and is now questionable.
I saw that.
Yeah, so but he had 14 carries against the Niners, and Geno Smith still had 30 completions. So I think there's a way they both cash. But yeah, no, I like Kenneth Walker if he is healthy also.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks to run the ball. Prop Beaver?
C Money Mitch said Seattle won 3 straight and Atlanta won 3 straight. And you don't think it's weird that Seattle's only +3 here? I don't know. Just
Prop Beaver, your mic is way quieter than mine, by the way.
Interesting. Okay. So that's weird.
Actually, there was one more thing I wanted to add. When it comes to the Falcons, they just played the Bucks, the Panthers, and the Saints. None of those 3 teams I would consider to have a good defense at all. So, I mean, the Falcons' offense looks great. Keep in mind that they're coming off 3 straight games against bad defenses. That being said, this might be a 4th straight game against bad defense. But, all right, go on, Prop Beaver.
Yeah, so I went with DK Metcalf over. I think I got it at 65+ receiving yards in this game. Would play it over to 67.5. I honestly would play it up to 69.5. I don't really care.
I said 64.5.
I mean, I got it at 64.5 on Fanatics yesterday. It was at 63.5 on BetMGM yesterday. I know Austin played it at 65.5, and then it went down to 63.5. So that was weird. But yeah, I love this play. DK Metcalf, as you know, extremely vocal guy. If you watch the broadcast of the Thursday Night Football matchup between the 49ers and the Seahawks, he literally grabbed his assistant coach's headset and said to his OC, "Throw the ball past the fucking sticks." He's not pleased with how the last 2 weeks have gone. 7 catches on 18 targets for 103 yards compared to 7 receptions per game on 112 yards per game in his 3 previous games. So he was on a hot streak. He's cooled off dramatically. I think this is the perfect spot for him to bounce back against this Falcons defense that has been letting wide receiver ones feast all season. I mean, we got Deontay Johnson, who we just cashed with last week for 78, Olave with 87, Rice with 110, Devonta Smith with 76, Pickens with 85. And I think the books agree with us here because they're projecting DK for some high usage here. I know 5 receptions for DK doesn't sound like a lot, but guess what? They have that for minus 175 for the over on ESPN Bet. With Geno Smith and just 4+ receptions, DK is now over his last 17 of 20 games, averaging 91.7 yards per game. And the only true wide receiver one who didn't cash this line against the Falcons, well, that was Chris Godwin. He came a single yard short. And that was a game where Baker threw the ball just 24 times compared to his season average of 32. The Seahawks defense, I think it is due for a bit of a bounce back here, but saying that doesn't really, it comes with, I guess, no bearing. I have no bearing to really suggest that. I'm just saying that because of the line right now. But yeah, if it doesn't bounce back, well, the Falcons offense is hot. The Seahawks defense is trash right now. The Seahawks are going to have to pass the ball a lot in this one. So yeah, DK Metcalf, 65+ receiving yards.
Toast.
You guys already know what it is. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Younghoe Koo, over 7.5 kicking points. Oh, you can throw a kicking
I thought
prop,
you were
but
going
I
to say
can't.
something that actually mattered. Go on.
Just gonna keep on cashing the ghost tickets. No big deal. So one of the best kickers in the league, also one of the higher totals in the on the board at 51.5. So I just didn't play his field goals because I didn't want them to score a few touchdowns on that Seattle defense, and then we worry about it. So over 7.5 field are kicking points for Younghoe Koo. The go.
By the way, Toast, someone in the comments saying the whole world is on the Mets. Let's go Dodgers.
I'm on Mets first 5, and the team total.
No, I know that, but I'm saying the whole world is on the Mets. What? I'm pretty sure.
I can't even. I can't.
All right,
I gotta let that go.
And next up,
he just threw me a curveball right there, and I swung and missed.
Texans, Packers in Green Bay. I have a bet on this one. I got Green Bay at 2.5. And I like this one. 1 second. It's not so much that I like the matchup for Green Bay's defense against Houston. In fact, I think the Texans are going to be able to move the ball. Even though CJ Stroud hasn't been as effective on the road and there are some splits against the Texans here, I still think Houston, as long as Joe Mixon is on the field, is going to be able to move the ball. Even look, both times Joe Mixon was in the lineup, the Texans were able to run the ball. I will say they were against questionable defenses, but still, no question, when Joe Mix is on the field, Houston has a multifaceted offense. When he's off the field, they can't run the ball. So the fact that Joe Mixon's in there, I expect the Houston to be able to run the ball on Green Bay, and I'm sure CJ Stroud will make some plays. This isn't a fade of the Texans offense at all. But Houston's defense is in shambles right now. They are so injured. They're missing 2 pieces of the secondary. All 3 of their starting linebackers are out. All 3. Okay, you want to come in here and tell me that CJ Stroud's going to make some plays, make some throws on Green Bay? Sure. I'm with it. I can agree. I'll co-sign that. Who's making stops? The defense is wrecked right now, and you're on the road in Green Bay against Jordan Love and a Packers offense that, let's be honest, they look like they're just finding their groove right now. I mean, dude, against the Cardinals, Jordan Love was just like throwing up ducks that were just perfectly full. They're finding their groove, the Packers offense. So as much as I do think there's a possibility CJ Stroud can make some throws, it's got to be Green Bay here. I got it at 2.5, so please look around if you're tailing and try to get a 2.5.
Yeah, I'll be kind of quick on this one. I don't have a best bet, but it kind of goes with what Kyle said. You could take the minus 2.5, 3. I have Packers team total over 24.5. I don't think the Texans can stop them. I mean, like he said, they're ravaged on defense. I don't need to say more. I think the Packers are close to having some really big games on offense lately. And I think this might be that game at home against this Texans defense. So I think they get close to 30 points. So that would be my bet. I haven't placed it yet, but that's the team total bet. And I don't mind the Packers on the spread too.
All right, Green Bay. Go on.
I was just going to say, I'll really go because I love Green Bay as well. Again, I'm not the biggest NFL guy like these guys, but for what I see, you have Nico Collins out, who has been one of the better receivers in the NFL the first month of the season, if I'm not wrong. You have not to mention, Jeremy Tunsil is going to be down, or if not available. The Texans are really bad on first down and early downs. The only better team better than them are the Browns early in possessions. I just don't understand it. So yeah, I play the Packers as well.
Prop Beaver.
Yeah, it's Green Bay or pass, but I don't really care about this game, so
It's only one of the best games on the board. Who cares, right?
what does that mean in terms of betting value?
Nothing.
Yeah, pass.
Okay, Drake May throwing dots out there. All right, next game.
Was it to Demario Douglas?
Looks like Hunter Henry.
That's all he's throwing to today is Henry. Jeez and rice.
Cincinnati, Cleveland, Believeland. All right. Well, I mean, I guess I'll go first. You can put my bet up there, Prop Beaver, as soon as you get the poll up. So I have a little bit of a teaser here. It's not something I particularly am proud of or even really like, but I did bet it. So I have the Bengals money line paired with Rams -1 in, I guess you would call it a teaser or a parlay, something of the sort. So yeah, Bengals money line, Rams -1. Look, I know that the Bengals never win here in Cleveland, and I didn't look and haven't talked to many people, but I would imagine most sharps are taking the Browns here. I get it, but I just cannot do it. I think we're going to have a little bit of a buy low on Cincinnati for a while. That's why I was so big on Cincinnati last week, even though last week on the road in Giants Stadium, or in MetLife, I should say, that was the quote-unquote square pick. I'm sure sharps were on the Giants in that one. If you remember, this Bengals team down the stretch, after they get off to a slow start, they cash as the square side over and over again. This is happening for multiple years. They get off to a slow start, then once Burrow finds his groove, they're the square side every week, and they ended up going 10-2 against the spread down the stretch. I feel like it always happens. So, I mean, not that that's the reason for the bet, but that has been what we've seen the last 2 years. It doesn't matter if Cincinnati's the quote-unquote square side. Joe Burrow gets hot the second half of the year, and they keep cashing. But also, it's a tough sell with Cleveland right now. Offensively, they are so bad. Deshaun Watson is so bad. And yeah, I think Nick Chubb is returning. How much does that even... I mean, keep in mind, Jerome Ford's out. So are you expecting Nick Chubb to come in here and take 30 carries after not playing for a year and a half? No, I mean, he's obviously going to be limited. He hasn't played in forever. So there's just not enough offense there with Cleveland. I think Cincinnati beats the shit out of them, if I'm being honest. But the only bet I have is this teaser parlay, which is one of my smallest bets of the day. So
Browns +6, best bet, baby.
Best
Yeah,
bet.
that's right. I'm with you.
That's
I'm with
right.
you.
This is as ugly as it gets, and I know a lot of my listeners, when I gave this out in the video, they aren't a fan of it, obviously. But what have the Bengals done to be a 6-point favorite here? It doesn't make any sense versus a good defense. I know their offense is terrible, but they played what just happened to my camera? Are we good? Okay.
No, you're frozen. I can hear you, though.
Are we there?
Oh, you're back. You're back.
You're good now.
Okay.
And
Again, the Bengals against a decent defense. I don't know what they're doing. This is a 6-point favorite. This is a divisional game. Like you said, they have absolutely owned the Cincinnati Bengals. And divisional games are much different. Obviously, they've won 6 straight games now versus Cincy in Cleveland. It's been a tough matchup. And yes, Nick Chubb is not going to get 20 carries, but Nick Chubb is going to bring some leadership. This team is fired up. If you saw the press conference, people yelling behind him and all that. They are absolutely fired up. I think he's going to help the run game a little bit. I know Deshaun sucks, but they did just keep the game tight in Philly. Not saying they played extremely well, but Browns defense at home, 10th fewest yards allowed at home this season. They're average in the NFL when it comes to passing yards. But again, I just think this is one of those divisional matchups where they just know they have their number. They know how to defend Jamar Chase. They know how to defend these guys. If Chubb can bring just anything to the run game, +6, sprinkle them on the money line. I think the Browns, as hard and ugly as this sounds, give me the Browns +6 as the best bet.
Love it. Love it.
Proppy?
Love it.
no, Toast, you go first.
He already did.
Um,
no, he didn't. You're right. I'm sorry.
Joe Burrow 1-5 in his career against the Browns. AFC North underdogs in division play 46-29 over the last whatever number that is. Not to mention Zach Taylor in the division 11-21 straight up. I just don't understand this line. I don't understand. I get that Cleveland's been bad, but what does the Bengals have done? They've been playing close games all season. 4 of their 6 games have been decided by 10 points or less. I got 4 of them in a 6-point margin. There's no way in hell that I'm laying -6 with Joe Burrow and company in a division game right now. So yeah, Browns are one of my favorite plays of the day as well.
You guys like the Cleveland to move the ball at all?
This is like the disgusting play that I love. The world's gonna hop on Joe Burrow and stuff like that, and I'm gonna be sitting there with this nice.
You better like one man to move the ball, or you're an absolute goddamn fraud. His name is Jerry Jeudy. You once said that this man was better than Brandon Ayuk. Kyle, remember that?
I said that?
No, Kyle did. Remember?
Well, he is better than Ayuk.
All right, well, he better get 48 yards against the fucking Cincinnati Bengals today, because Cam Taylor Twit is a guy I fade every single week. Dude's absolute ass, and it's been cashing out. So he better get 48 yards today, or else, my God, then he's sorry. Yeah, I'm going to just keep picking on Cam Taylor Twit on the outside. Dude talks his talk, gets cooked every single week. Truly sorry. Let me just go ahead and look up some wide receiver game logs versus the Bengals real quick. Sorry. Yeah, so Darius Slayton in a game where Daniel Jones looked like an atrocity last week, got over his mark. He had 57 yards on 6 receptions. We had Zay Flowers the week before, 111 yards. What about the week before? Deontay Johnson, 83 yards. What about the week before? Terry McLaurin, 100 yards. What about the week before? Rashee Rice, 75 yards. I could literally go on for days. Wide receiver ones against the Cincinnati Bengals, ever since they got rid of essentially the 2 safeties from 2022, have just been getting cooked and cooked and cooked and cooked. And I'm just banking on the fact that we're going to see a volume increase for Jerry Jeudy now that Amari Cooper's gone. I mean, the last 2 weeks, Jerry Jeudy's only gotten 3 targets in each of those games with Njoku back. I feel like this is the perfect spot for him to bounce back in terms of volume now that Cooper's gone. Let's not forget that the first 4 games of the season, Jerry Jeudy had 6+ targets in each of those first 4 games. With 6+ targets in his since 2021, Jerry Jeudy's the guy who's over 22 or 28 games, even with all those drops, averaging 67 receiving yards per game. And then with 4+ receptions, which is juiced to -160, he's over 19 of 23 games since 2021, averaging 70.2 yards per game. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Bengals' rush defense, but they actually have been improving a bit lately. They looked pretty good against the Giants last week. And then on top of that, you don't have Jerome Ford, who has actually been sneakily one of the better backs in the NFL this season. Not Dearness Johnson. Who's the back they have that back there right now? Deontay Foreman has been horrible this season. And then Nick Chubb, obviously coming off that gruesome injury. And if you look at Nick Chubb's splits against the division, they're not really good. They know to stop him. So I think that they're going to have to pass the ball in this game. There's still a Cleveland offense that wants to pass the ball, 4th in neutral pass rate. I think that Jerry Jeudy has to get fed here. So just going to keep fading Twit.
So the graphic under me is it's Cincinnati money line, Rams -1. It's basically the 6-point teaser. So that Andy mistyped on that. But all right, let's move on to the next game. Yeah, the comments are all over the Bengals. It's definitely the quote unquote pros versus public game. The sharp money is on the Browns, public action on the Bengals.
Love it.
Eagles Giants. Come on. Confirmed. Daniel Bones is playing today.
Oh, shit.
Wait, is that is confirmed?
Yeah, if that's confirmed, I got to get my bet in.
Daniel Bones confirmed.
Hold on. Yeah, let me bet the Giants money line really quick then. I didn't know it was confirmed yet.
Yeah. I wait for my designation from Kyle.
I just wait for Kyle to let me know.
I'm a little worried about the Giants defense. There's a couple pieces questionable, but they did practice on Friday. So if Brian Burns ends up not playing, maybe I get screwed here. But I think Burns and Dexter Lawrence are going to play. I'm wishful thinking. I'm on the Giants here. Okay. +3 and money line. Giants defense is a terrible matchup for Philly offensively. Giants just played Cincinnati, who up until that point, the Bengals had a top 10 pass protection. That offensive line had done a great job protecting Joe Burrow. Didn't matter. Giants were all over him. Not only are the Eagles offensive line, not only is the Eagles offensive line struggling a bit in pass protection, but they're missing their left tackle as well in this game. Giants pass rush is really going to give Philly problems. Not to mention, want to know who's been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL at handling pressure so far this year? Jalen Hurts. I believe he's 33rd in turnover-worthy play rate, 30th in passer rating. He's struggling handling pressure, and that Giants pass rush is coming. Sure, Saquon Barkley revenge game sounds all cute. It's a nice retweet. But honestly, he'll make some plays, but honestly, the Eagles' offense may be in hell here. I think the Bengals are the best offense in the NFL, or the top 3. I don't consider the Eagles' offense even in the same discussion as Cincinnati, and Giants had that offense in a blender last week. They had Joe Burrow in a coffin. Look, on the other side of the ball, I love the way Daboll's coaching that offense right now, with the exception of the fire me 4th down attempts, which were just wild. With the exception of those, the way he's calling the offense, I love it. Conservative throws, just taking what the defense is giving you. Don't make mistakes. Daniel Jones loves playing that kind of football. Not to mention Neighbors is back, Singletary's back. I don't have really much faith in the Eagles defense. I think the Giants win this game. So I have +3 and the money line prop, Beaver, if you want to put a money line.
Oh, money line as well? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree with you, but what we got to talk about is Giants are going to be without Andrew Thomas also, which is a huge loss on their O-line, I think. He's going to the IR, but I like the under in this game. It's kind of what Kyle said. I really like this. I got it at 43 earlier. I think it's 42.5 now. I know Singletary and Neighbors are back, but I just think this is one of those divisional games that are just going to be played low scoring. Like he said, I think the Eagles struggle offensively here. Giants have gone under in 9 of their last 11 games. I mean, they're just an absolute under machine. I think Dallas Goedert is also out for this game, which is going to make it even harder on Philly as well. I just don't love Philly's offense right now, but obviously if, Daniel Bones is playing, maybe the Giants score too many points and this goes over. But I like the under with this one. I think it's a divisional game where we see like a 20-17 close type of game. So even with Neighbors back, I like the under.
I don't like the tonality in which you said Bones. Almost sounds like you're a non-believer.
It sounded condescending.
Yeah, that was kind
there
of
yet.
condescending. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't like that.
No, you read it right.
Watch some film and get back to me.
Clearly, yeah, clearly not seeing the film right.
Obviously, you haven't watched the all 22.
I have not. No.
Okay. I'm going to pass on this game. Didn't really get to give it the proper look. Not going to just spew some bullshit for you guys. But honestly, the reason why I didn't give it the proper look, I kind of just resort to Kyle for my Giants picks at this point. It's crazy, but this dude just has the read on Bones at this point.
I think I've won every game, Giants game this year.
No, the only one that you didn't win, really, I feel like we kind of you almost kind of were like, what do you think? And I was like, I feel like the Cowboys.
What game?
The Cowboys won, and we lost on the fucking Aubrey field goal.
Yeah, I lost by the Cowboys with field goal. Other than that, I'm pretty sure I have every Giants game right.
So you lost off literally a miracle.
Aubrey missed 38-yard field goal.
A guy who doesn't miss field goals. So
I was gonna say the guy that's one of the best in the league.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna pass you. What do you think, Toast?
Yeah.
I think that now that Jones is confirmed and Neighbors is back,
No, Bones is confirmed. Jones was always playing. Bones is confirmed.
sorry, I apologize for that. And Neighbors back. Not to mention, I don't really trust Philadelphia's weak secondary at all. So, I'm all over the Giants as well.
Next. Lions Vikings. Steve, you want to bat lead off on this one? Mute.
I do. I got a couple best bets in this one. First of all, it's the first leg of a teaser. Lions plus 7.5. Move them up from 1.5 to 7.5. You might even get 8 now today. This is a Lions team who hasn't lost by 8+ points to the Minnesota Vikings since 2020. Vikings have been good, but let's be honest, they're due to come back down to earth. 3 of their 5 wins have still been by 6 points or less. They're not absolutely crushing every team they're playing. I don't think their run game is going to be there against Detroit. Obviously, Lions a good defense. I know Aiden Hutchinson is out. Aaron Jones, I believe, is also out for this game. Vikings offense, they're bottom 12 at run and pass offense when it comes to yards per game. So, again, this is a team who's undefeated. They're playing very well defensively, but their offense is still not exactly humming along. I think this Lions offense, even though running on the Minnesota Vikings will be tougher a little bit, I think they're going to pass all over this. This is strength on strength, run game versus run defense. But I think Jared Goff and these wide receivers have huge games against this very leaky pass defense for the Vikings. Vikings get pressure on quarterbacks. They rely on it with their defense, but you know what? It's not as easy to get pressure on this Vikings O-line. So I think they score. They keep the game close. There's no way the Lions here lose by 2 scores. So that's my first leg of the parlay, plus 7.5. We'll go over the second one later. But second one, Jordan Addison over 47.5 receiving yards. This number is just flat out too low. If you want to take Justin Jefferson, you could. I think we are going to get some big receiver numbers in this game. Only 2 games since the injury for Addison. 4 targets, 3 catches for 72 yards. And then versus the Jets, he still had 8 targets, but he only had 3 catches for 36. Well, the Jets are really good defensively, obviously, against the pass. I love to see that he got 8 targets as well. We're getting a really low, kind of a buy low spot because he just played the Jets, in my opinion. He's a guy who's averaged almost 16 yards per catch this season, 13 yards per catch last season. The Lions, it's as good as it gets. They give up the most receiving yards to the wide receiver position. Lions also being very good against the run means Darnold is going to have to throw the ball. We've seen a lot of receivers go over this line. We're talking CeeDee Lamb, Tolbert, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, JSN, Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Johnson, Demarcus Robinson. I mean, receivers are flying over this number. I think this is one of those Jordan Addison kind of breakout games. I think he has a good one here. So I like Addison over, and then I also like the Lions plus 7.5, as I think this game comes down to the wire, or the Lions can just win it. So,
the Lions.
Well, I couldn't actually get a bet down, but it's got to be Vikings. I mean,
Agreed.
it's if you look at the NFL in a vacuum, what have we seen so far this year? You probably have to say the Vikings are the best team in the NFL, and they're giving us the Vikings at home at a pick'em, and everyone's betting the other side. It's like, here's the best.
Really?
Yep.
Lions.
Everybody loves the Lions.
Plays on the board.
Right, well, I'm glad I didn't bet it then.
It's the best team in the NFL so far at home at a pick'em, and everyone is on the other side. I get it. The Lions' offense has looked electric. It's been really impressive. I mean, we do have to take into consideration they've played Dallas, who was missing everybody, Seattle, and Arizona. I mean, they played 3 terrible defenses. Now they're going on the road to play the best defense in the NFL, coming off a bye. It's slightly different. So, yeah, I think the Vikings win, but I don't have a bet down because it seems crazy to fade the Lions right now. This is a team that has covered at a high rate for multiple years. You don't want to make a habit fading this Detroit team because that's going to cost you money. So, yeah, I think the Vikings would be the play here based on the fact that they've been the best team in the NFL at home at a pick'em, and everyone's fading it. Everyone's on the other side. It seems crazy. So, yeah, I think the Lions offense is in a little bit of for a little bit of a wake-up call. Look what happened. I mean, the Lions saw 3 bad defenses in a row. Everyone kind of forgot how Jared Goff looked like shit there for a few weeks. Play some bad defenses. People have short-term memory loss. This is the best defense in the NFL coming off a bye. It's a very tough spot. So I think the Vikings win.
Tosh, you want to go?
Not really. I didn't know it was going to be public like that. Obviously, I don't know these markets like I do the other ones, but I just saw this as, even with Aiden Hutchinson being down, I don't see that there's a huge difference with the offense and the defense. I mean, look at the Vikings defense won't be able to get much pressure against that Lions offensive line that obviously can maul everybody. Not to mention the fact that the Vikings are allowing, when they can't get pressure, they're allowing almost 8 yards per attempt. Not to mention the fact that I really like just betting on Dan Campbell, who's 39-17 and covering almost by 3 points a game every time he goes out there. So add on the fact that what was it? Somebody sent me a thing about the ref in this game. Clay Martin, underdogs with him are like hitting at like 80% as well. But anyway, the fact that the world's on the Lions makes me not want to touch this game at all. So.
Yeah, I have 3 props in this one. I'll try not to take up as much time as humanly possible. So let me just get through it. 1 second. Let's load up the first one. First one I'm going to talk about is actually a relatively quick one. We're doing Jared Goff over a half interception here. Plain and simple, my boy Brian Flores' scheme has motherfuckers in hell, okay? Every quarterback that has seen Brian Flores thus far has thrown an interception, simply put. And then now we have Jared Goff last year, who did not throw an interception in the 2 matchups against Brian Flores. In fact, he had quite a bit of success against them, but I really do not like the matchup for Jared Goff in this one. Because he's facing a Vikings defense that leads the NFL by a wide margin and too high safety frequency. Why is that important? Well, Jared Goff has a turnover-worthy play percentage of, what is it? It is 7% against too high shells. That is third worst, right next to Anthony Richardson. I mean, that is garbage right there. On top of that, his interception rate is significantly higher on the road. So after performances where he hasn't thrown interceptions, he's looked really good those last 2 games. I think this is a prime performance where he comes back down to earth, throws that interception. I think at minus 120, that is a great price right there. So the next one that we're going to be playing in this one is going to be Mr. Jameson Williams over, I believe it's 47.5 receiving yards here. No, 46.5 receiving yards here. I believe this one is a bit of a popular one this week, but it makes sense. I mean, the dude's over 4 or 5 games thus far. You don't really see me play games, lines with hit rates like that. I mean, obvious hit rates like that, but this matchup is just simply too good for Jameson Williams to pass up. We're catching Jameson Williams against a Minnesota Vikings defense that is amongst the leaders in blitz rate. Well, guess what? You want to know what Jameson Williams' yards per route run is against when Jared Goff is blitzed? 4.77. That is just unholy right there. On top of that, his first target read rate is 35.3%. That is just simply insane. On top of that, against zone read, again, he has a yards per route run above 2.55 and a first read target rate above 25%. So this is just simply an elite matchup. He also does really well against the main coverage they use. So another prop that I like in that one. And then the third prop that I'm rolling out here, and honestly probably one of my favorites. I need to get this thing to stop. There we go. Sam Darnold over 260.5 passing yards. I think Sam Darnold's going to ball the fuck out today. If you think that the Detroit Lions pass defense is good, I think that Sam Darnold is going to show you why it is not today. I think this is the main reason why I really don't like the Vikings in this ball game here today. There are some flaws with the Sam Darnold passing game. It's mainly the way that he handles pressure. When pressured, 26 in yards per attempt, 13th in passer rating. When kept clean, 2nd in yards per attempt, 5th in passer rating. Guess what, folks? This Lions pass rush is just simply not good. They are 28. God damn it. They're 30th in pressure rate, 20th in adjusted sack rate, and now they just lost Aiden Hutchinson. They have to blitz to create pressure. They're 6th in blitz rate. Well, guess what? Darnold is a god against the blitz. He's 2nd in yards per attempt, 3rd in passer rating. So if you have to blitz to try and create pressure on him, he's going to make you pay. On top of that, the Lions are 4th in man coverage rate. You do not want to play man coverage against Sam Darnold. 11.74 yards per attempt against man coverage. 134 passer rating against man coverage compared to 7 and 77.5 against zone. I just think that this is fantastic. So I love all 3 of these plays. I honestly am considering playing the Vikings for a 4th unit in this game. I really love this game.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Which is Titans-Bills. Oh, man, I want to bet the Titans so bad. I don't have a bet on the game, so I'll pass the mic around, see if anyone has anything. I want to bet the Titans. I kind of feel like this Titans team isn't nearly as bad as they're perceived, and I feel like Will Levis is just really, really bad. And now that there's a quarterback change and Mason Rudolph is playing quarterback, that the Titans are going to be looked at under a different lens, I guess we could say. But I can't do it. So you can put Titans up under my face or my pick for the game, but I didn't actually bet the game. I can't.
What if I told you that Josh Allen has closed as a 4-point or more favorite 27 times over the last 3 full seasons, and the Bills are 9, 17, and 1 ATS in those games? And out of the 46 quarterbacks to close at 4 points or more in those games in that span, if that mark at 19 and 7 is the absolute worst in the NFL, would that make you change your mind? No. Okay.
No.
I just thought it was a good one. I tried. I was there. I felt it.
Straight from the Entourage show right there. What if I told you? Bills are 1-6 in their last 7 against the spread as a favorite or 7 or more. They don't play well when they're huge favorites, but this is disgusting. I was like Kyle. I want to get on the Titans side. I can't. If you're looking for a prop, I love Pollard over rushing yards. But if they do get blown out, that could be a problem. But maybe over rush and receiving. But this is a tough one for me. I don't have a strong lean.
Yeah, I mean, if you want if you're trying to make a bet and you want a pitch, the Titans do have a great defensive front. And we've seen several times that the Bills' offense looks completely different when they're unable to grab those 4 or 5 yard runs on first and second down. It looks completely different. In fact, I mean, let's be real. The Jets should have won last week. You can make an argument that Buffalo should be on a 3-game losing streak right now. In fact, you can make an argument that the Bills haven't played a good football game in a month. And they're laying 9 based on the fact that everyone's obsessed with Josh Allen against this tough defensive front that's more than capable of taking the run away. I mean, there's a path to a Titans bet. It's just tough with Mason Rudolph and the Bills defense. Even when it looks bad, it finds ways to make stops in big situations. And look at last week against the Jets. I mean, the Bills defense looked terrible. Aaron Rodgers was piecing them up, still found a way to make stops at the right situations and win. So yeah, it would only be Titans. There's no way I'd be laying 9 here with a Bills team that hasn't looked good in weeks. But I'm not going to bet the Titans either.
Beaver, do you think today's the day that Josh Allen throws an interception?
I bet that shit last week, and I was so mad.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. He probably does because I'm not going to bet it today.
Because it's plus money, and I'm really wanted to play it, but I wanted to get your...
I hope he throws an interception today because, as Jabbo alluded to, I actually did bet the Pollard over 92.5 rushing plus receiving yards. So I would like a game script that is competitive today. Honestly, I guess a game script that isn't competitive still keeps me in this one because I do have the receiving yards incorporated in as well. Point is, I like Pollard to just be the main piece here for this Titans offense. Tell me if you heard this before. I think the Titans actually have a shot in this one. I know this Titans team, all they do, they cost me money. I mean, maybe if I stop betting Titans players, I'd actually be in the green this season. God forbid. But Bills are coming off 3 road games against the Ravens, Texans, and Jets are now coming back on a short week to play Mason Rudolph and co. as 8.5-point favorites. I mean, if you're a Bills player, you getting excited for this game? I feel like if anything, it's like, finally a chance to breathe. A bit of a flat spot. And that is exciting for me because the weakness of this Bills defense is that rush defense. And we have plenty of opportunity for Pollard here today. There's no Tyjae Spears on the field. I mean, who are they handing the ball to? Julius Chestnut that make a character? Hell no. So with 3+ receptions and 13+ rush attempts, Pollard is over this mark in 69% of starts in 2021, averaging 110. On the road, he's 6-2 in these spots, averaging 120-22. And if you're just reading some of the lines, they expect him to get those opportunities. His receptions line is at 3.5, nevertheless 2.5, minus 135. His rush attempts line, 15.5, juiced as high as minus 145. And despite the fact that the Bills have been killing teams for the most part, look at the lead ball carrier in terms of the rushing plus receiving mark. In fact, they have cashed it in all 6 games thus far. Hull had 170, Ogunwumbale 90, Henry, 210, ETN, 85, A-Chain, 165, Connor, 83. So if they're not hitting this mark, they've been competitive every time, and they've cashed their own individual marks. So in the lone game without Lever this year, we saw Pollard get 108 yards, and Pollard, as I said earlier, is going to have an even bigger share of the workload without Spears today. As Toast alluded to, maybe we get a Josh Allen interception in the mix today. I really like this for Pollard today.
Toast?
I don't have a bet on the game, to be honest with you guys. I would take Tennessee if I had to, but that's it.
Next. All right. And for all the people that are saying, how can you not bet the Bills? I mean, have you been watching the NFL this year? Favorites of 7 or more, you're getting dusted betting favorites like that.
How from a capping
That's
perspective?
why I was serious when I asked that question about Josh Allen because every trend that I look at is just absolutely terrible for the Bills in this spot.
There is the spot, and then on top of that, you also have the fact that the Titans are a top 5 rush defense. If you stop the Bills' run game, well, we have seen Josh Allen slow down in terms of the passing game, and then on top of that, you have L'Jarius Sneed who can match up in terms of Amari Cooper. Like, I don't know.
Not to mention, it doesn't get any worse than Levis.
What have we said? Yeah, what have we said about the Titans all season? It's a pretty good team, otherwise, than the shit stain at quarterback.
I mean, yeah. I really want
Rudolph's starting though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Next up is Carolina, Washington. All that stuff I just said about big favorites. I mean, you know what sucks is if the Panthers were healthy, I honestly might be down to take 9.5 points, but There's just no way. I mean, they're missing a couple pieces on the offensive line. The defense is a crime scene. They're so injured. I mean, this Commanders defense is so bad, and you can't lay 9.5 with a touchdown Patriots. You can't lay 9.5 with a defense like that. And if the Panthers have a good offensive line, if they were healthy, I swear I'd be like, yo, the Panthers are going to run the ball right between the tackles on the Commanders. They can't do a damn thing about it. They can't get off the field. I'm taking Carolina plus 9.5. Can't do it. They're missing the center. Corbett's out. They're Brady Christensen's starting. I mean, hasn't he not played in 2 years? Also, I think they're missing a tackle as well. How do you say that? Moton?
I think that's proper.
Yeah, I've heard it pronounced Matan and Moton. I don't know, whatever one's right. But I think he's out as well. And then you look at the Panthers defense, like look at actually who's starting. It's like, who the fuck? They're missing everybody. Like, who are these people? It looks like you're looking at the lineup for Kansas State's defense. So yeah, I can't count on the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots. Wow, just missed. I can't count on the Panthers to make stops here. So I guess it would be over or pass. I'm not laying 9.5 points with a bad defense. You just don't do that. If you make decisions like that, you won't win. But I can't take the Panthers either. So it would just be over or pass.
Yeah, I'll go next. I've never been this confident on a team total over 29.5. I've never usually bet Washington Commanders, and this is going to be, I think they're going to fly over. I think they score 40 plus in this game. You might see 30.5 now. I gave this out earlier this week. I still like it. Like I said, the Commanders offense, we know how good they are. Second most in the NFL. They average right at 30 points, guys. I mean, this is, if they have an average game, they cash this. That's what I'm saying here. And they're going up against the worst defense in the entire NFL. Plus they're injured. They just put up 23 against Baltimore. That was obviously a much different defense. And I still thought they looked good at times. The Panthers defense has now given up 34 more points in 3 straight games, guys. 34 or more. 38 to Atlanta, 36 to the Bears, 34 to the Bengals. I don't understand how we even got this 29.5 line. I know it's crazy to bet an over 29.5. The Carolina defense is horrendous. Their opponents have scored a touchdown on 75% of their red zone drives. They are absolutely awful, giving up 34 points per game. Like I said, I think if we just get an average Commanders offensive game here, they cash this over 29.5. I can't say anything worse than I've already said about the Panthers defense. They are terrible, and the Commanders should just have their punter not even suit up because he's not going to be used. Give me the Commanders over 99.5 points today.
Wow.
What's the odds?
That just threw me off.
Did he just say 99?
I was like, wait, what?
It's a ladder.
As far as on paper, the current state of the Panthers defense, the current production we've seen on the field, as much as I would want to say, like, don't take a team total over 29.5, it's not profitable. It's hard to make an argument against it, honestly.
It's not that it's 29.5. So you have to pay minus 130 for the 29.5.
It's a juice 29.
Yeah, wow. I mean, no. I mean, that's something. I mean, I get it, though. I really do get it. Yeah, respect. I'm going with Deontay Johnson, the wounded warrior, the man who entered this week questionable with
Hold on. Let me stop.
What?
I'm getting a little concerned with your obsession with this guy. You're now giving him nicknames like he's got movie sequels. Deontay Johnson, the wounded warrior.
Okay, well, all right. For some context, if you bet something every week and it keeps paying you out, why would you stop betting it?
I know, but you're now giving him movie sequel names.
Okay, to be fair, he entered this week questionable with 2 weeks ago, he was only questionable with a hamstring injury. Then last week, he added an ankle injury onto it. And now on this Friday, when he was injured and wasn't practicing already with the hamstring and ankle injury, he started practicing on Friday and then got injured with his rib. He then entered the weekend, hamstring, ankle, rib, questionable. He's playing still. Absolute animal. God bless him. Truly an angel. My archangel. Now, does he make it the full game? That's the question. I put 1.5 fucking units on you, Deontay, you prick. So if you're going to go into the game and leave the game early, we're going to have a problem. But Deontay's paid us out all season. He's been our sweet prince. So
dude,
I think he's going to pay us out again here in this beautiful matchup. The Commanders are an abomination. You all know it. I know it. They've allowed the most yards per game to wide receiver ones, 95. They're 31st in DVOA, and they're top 10 in man coverage rate. Now, if you thought I loved Deontay Johnson overall, Deontay Johnson against man coverage, that gets me wet. He's one of the best separators in all the game, and the Commanders live at a cover 1 and cover 2. They're top 10 in frequency in both. Against those coverages, with Andy Dalton, the guy owns a 49% air yard share and a 37% first read share. That is stupid right there. We've seen 10-plus targets and 6-plus receptions in all 3 games with Dalton, besides against the elite Chicago pass D. I mean, come on. They're 9.5-point dogs here. We got a 52-point total. I mean, Jabbo is projecting a 99-point ladder for the other team. We need some passing game. With 6-plus receptions, Deontay Johnson, 17-2 to the over since 2023. With 10-plus targets, 9-1 to the over since 2023. We need Deontay out there. We need him. Where are you, Deontay?
Just so you know, people are throwing their own names in there. Fallen Soldier, Prince Warrior, Wounded Prince, the Sweet Prince. So people are giving their own names to Deontay Johnson. Your obsession with him is getting a little weird. But hey, you do you. Toast.
2 plays for me. It's funny because Beaver just pretty much took all the points that I was wanting to making about. I like Andy Dalton.
You were also going to call him a Sweet Prince?
Did I take that from you?
Andy Dalton over 233.5 passing yards. I think this is a really good matchup and one of the higher totals in the game. Beaver talked about the coverages and stuff like that. Also, Austin Seibert over 1.5 field goals for the Commanders. He's one of the best kickers in the league right now. Top 3, over 60 points total. Only missed 1 field goal, and that was over 50-plus yards. I'm a kicking prop god. Don't worry about that.
No, the only thing I was questioning is why. I wonder why wouldn't you go extra points there, kicking points? Because he could get, according to Mr. Jabbo, 55 extra points today.
Because I continued to make the bets that cash for me. Younghoe Koo is the only guy that I do kicking points.
I'm
with,
sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. We've all been there.
Yeah, dude. Duh.
We've all questioned a guy before.
Because he continues to make the bets.
I think also because I think the other one was like most are like I think minus 105 or 110 or something like that. And usually when that happens, there's a reason. The kicking props are very frail.
Let's move on to the next game. Oh my God, Raiders Rams.
This is a heater.
This game sucks. This game is trash. I have that teaser. You guys saw it already. The Rams -1, Bengals money line. Really tough to make a case for the Raiders. Last week, I bet Raiders +3 against the Steelers. That was so disgusting. The Steelers didn't even look good. There was a point in the game where the Steelers were up 20 points and the Raiders had more total yards. It was like disgusting. This Raiders football team is honestly just terrible. And the Rams coming off a bye, looks like they're not going to get Cooper Kupp back. I thought they were. There's no way they should lose this game at home. I'm not interested in laying 7. Not really interested in betting the game, but put these two together. I don't really even want to talk about it, to be honest, so someone else can go.
Jabbo, did you have Brock Bowers?
Yeah, baby.
Okay, I thought so. Okay, I'll let you go. I played the same thing, but I'm pretty. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is the second leg of my ladder parlay. Brock freaking Austin Bowers. He is the man. Over 59.5 receiving yards. This guy is absolutely elite. Yes, he's only over in 3 of 6, but he's over in his last 2 without Devontae Adams. No Jacoby Myers as well. In these last 2 games, 12 and 10 targets. The volume is through the roof. Just volume alone should get him there. This is an absolute dream matchup. The Rams are a tight end funnel. I mean, they are horrendous. They've allowed the 3rd most receiving yards to the tight end position. They cannot cover the middle of the field. Target share, it's 22.5%. It's much higher than that the last couple weeks now with all these guys out. And I think the Raiders are going to be playing from behind in this game. But here's the crazy part, guys. The Rams are allowing a 91% catch rate to tight ends. That is absolutely insane. Dead last tight ends versus the Rams. Tucker Kraft went for 88. McBride 67. Cole Kmet 34. But Bowers is by far the highest volume tight end at all those guys. He's one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end in the league already, in my opinion. I have him over 59.5 receiving yards and also 70+ receiving yards, along with Tyreek Hill 70+ receiving yards. I got that at plus 451 for the ladder parlay this week.
Yes. So I'll just hop right in. Absolutely.
Wait, you're on that too?
Yeah. I mean, are you serious? This is.
Wait, you're all on that?
Yeah. I mean,
I'll be fair. I watched Jabo's video. That's what got me going. So that's why I said that first.
Watching Jabo got you going?
It got me really going. Hell yeah! I played anytime touchdown too. Keep it going.
I mean,
it happens a lot.
I'm more into Deontay Johnson, but Jabo's fine too. But no, seriously though, on a serious note, dude, Brock Bowers, unfreaking real. And the target share he's getting right now is just insane. I don't know if I'm getting these numbers exactly correct, so don't shoot me, but I believe when I was looking yesterday, he had a 45% first read target share against zone the past 2 weeks.
I think it's 44.
What the actual fuck? That's just unheard of. So just to be getting that is unreal. Now I'm going to face a Rams defense that, as Mr. Jabo was leading to, just absolutely horrendous against tight ends. Bottom 3 in yards per game allowed to tight ends. They are 32nd in DVOA allowed to tight ends. Why? Because the yards per reception allowed to tight ends they are allowing is so goddamn horrendous. It is just insane. And what do we know about Bowers? He is so efficient with his targets. Just the big playability that this dude possesses is just so much greater than most tight ends. It's insane. We saw that touchdown that he had against the Broncos, that stupid touchdown that cost me and Jabo were under. It's just insane what he could do. And this is the perfect matchup here. And then, as he was saying, the targets. I mean, what? There's nobody on the field here. I mean, you got Trey Tucker and freaking, I don't even know the other guy's name. He's so irrelevant. There's just nobody on the field here to throw to, and they're 7-point dogs, even with Cooper Kupp out. So I think the books are still confident that the Rams are going to beat the shit out of them here. All over the Bowers train until they honestly have this at like 80 plus. It's just getting ridiculous.
All right, you guys are all on Brock Bowers over receiving yards. Bunch of weirdos. It's like you all wore the same shirt to work. All right, let's go though.
Do you have anything to add, Toast, or all aboard?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
All right, best game of the week, you have to say right here, right? 49ers, Chiefs 49ers in San Francisco. As far as football game, this is the coolest game on the board. Texans Packers is pretty cool as well. As far as betting value, I would say not so much. I did bet the game. I took Chiefs money line. I got it, I think, plus 108, plus 105, somewhere in there. So I'm on the Chiefs to win the game. And like I said, as far as betting value, there's not really a crazy handicap here. I mean, look, we do have to give the Chiefs some credit. So we thought when Rashee Rice went down, like, wow, this Chiefs offense is going to be in trouble. I mean, Rice has been the primary target for Mahomes by a large margin. I mean, his target share was so high this year. We thought that the Chiefs passing offense was going to be in trouble. No Pacheco. We thought the Chiefs were going to be in trouble. Well, they look fine. Travis Kelce looks like he woke up 27 years old again. Back-to-back good games. Smith-Schuster's contributing. Mahomes actually put up 2 better games since Rashee Rice has gotten hurt. So Mahomes looks fine. In fact, he looks better than he did earlier in the season. So, I mean, even though Pacheco's hurt, even though Rashee Rice remains sidelined, I still don't think we have reason to doubt the Chiefs' offense are able to put some points up here. I'm not expecting them to march up and down the field on the road in San Francisco. They're going to score, though. They're the Chiefs. They look fine. And on the other side, the Chiefs' defense has been looking really good, man. Look, when it comes down to it, and this is a stupid way to bet, but if I'm being honest, at the end of the game, I trust Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes not to fumble the bag more than I trust Shanahan and Purdy to not fumble the bag. So it's one of my smaller bets. Chiefs money line plus 110, whatever I got it at. But I wanted you know what? This might have even been a pass if it wasn't for. It's a 4 p.m. window. I hate the Rams game. I hate the Commanders game. So if I didn't put a bet down in this game, I was going to go take a nap during the 4 p.m. literally have no action. So I literally bet the Chiefs money. I was like, this is the game of the week. I want to have some action on. I want to have fun in the Discord watching it with everybody. So I thought Chiefs money line at plus money was a good place to put my money. It's not. I'm not sitting here. If you're on 49ers, I'm not sitting here saying like you're a moron. Not that I talk like that anyway. But yeah, I'm on Chiefs money line. Let's have some fun with this one, guys.
Go ahead, Tuss.
I'll go really quickly. Anytime I get Patrick Mahomes at plus money, I take it. 10-3 straight up as an underdog. 11 1-1 ATS. That's by far the best mark for a QB with a minimum of 10 starts in the Super Bowl era. Not to mention we're getting Andy Reid as a dog off a bye, who's 7-2 straight up, 8-1 ATS over his last 9. It's really simple. This Chiefs team paid me out all playoffs at plus money. It was really simple for me to take him here again today.
Love it. This is the second leg of that teaser. Chiefs plus 7.5. Then with the Lions plus 7.5, how many times are we going to get maybe the two best teams in the entire NFL at over a touchdown? I mean, this is just one of my favorite teasers. He already said it. Mahomes is an underdog. It's just absolutely ridiculous. 49ers obviously got some offensive injuries as well. They're on a backup kicker. It's a huge deal, obviously. But Chiefs injuries, they're decently healthy other than the main two that we always talk about. 49ers love to run the ball. I think the Chiefs can kind of slow that down. They've given up the fifth fewest yards per game there, fourth fewest yards per attempt. I mean, I don't need to say much more. It's the Chiefs plus 7.5. They just don't lose by 8 or more points. I think they have a chance to win this game. And then I also have an anytime touchdown. If the Niners do score, George Kittle plus 175 is just more on a value here. He has the most red zone targets of all tight ends in the NFL with 11. Next closest is 5. And we're getting plus at 175. He already has 5 touchdowns through 5 games. He's number 1 target share in the red zone, 28.1% on the 49ers. Facing the Chiefs, who they've been okay. They've been good against tight ends, but tight ends, touchdowns, they're still getting up a few. I just like Kittle to get in the end zone here, but I really like the Chiefs and Lions plus 7.5 as my 6-point teaser.
All right. Prop?
Yeah, I got 2 props in this one. First one, we'll go. Thank you for clarifying for our visually challenged viewers.
For people that are listening and sign.
Yeah. Thank you for signing for our viewers. We got George Kittle. George Kittle over. I think Kittle. My bad. Andy had it at the opening line. That thing is shot the hell up. It's at 53.5 receiving yards now. Let me see if there's any big difference in terms of the hit rates. No, nothing big in terms of the hit rate, so we're still pretty good in terms of the analysis goes. Yeah, Chiefs have been getting absolutely cooked by tight ends thus far. They're allowing the most yards per game, 75.2, the most targets per game at 9.1, and that is pretty nuts because look at who they faced thus far. Isaiah Likely, Kyle Pitts, Will Dissly, Mike Gesicki, and Juwan Johnson. I mean, this is not exactly like murderer's row here. I mean, these are not even the best of tight ends. We got George Kittle coming into the build, and this is the best usage we've seen from Kittle in quite some time without CMC. Stealing looks in the passing game, he's averaging 56.6 yards per game, 5.6 receptions per game, and 7 targets per game. And the usage is what's really important to me here is because with 4+ receptions, this is a guy who's over his last 15 of 20 games, averaging 76.7 yards per game. With 5+ receptions, this is a man who's cashed 12 straight games. So huge for me right there. And then on top of that, what also stands out to me, this is a Chiefs team, I believe, that is only second to the Vikings in too high safety coverage. Well, George Kittle is the number 1 man on the team in terms of target percentage against those looks. So that is huge right there. There's a reason that Kittle has his yards mark already pretty damn high and has skyrocketed an additional 5 yards. It's actually up to 55.5 on some books. God damn, 7 whole yards. I still like it there, so definitely like that pick. And then I guess you people were not going to escape without a defensive prop for me. A bit of a correlated look as well. We got Brian Cook over 5.5 tackles and assists here. I think we're going to see a bit of an increase of the looks that we get from the San Francisco 49ers pass game, and we're going to see Mr. Cook tackle Mr. Kittle here. Something that obviously defensive people would know, but not you normal people. The 49ers have allowed 6 straight free safeties to cash their tackles and assist line. Brian Cook coming off 2 down games in a row. He wasn't a guy who had a high tackle efficiency last year, but has seen a massive increase this season. On top of that, bit of a higher hit rate on the road. I really like him to cash in this one. You guys don't even listen to the analysis when it comes to defensive props anyway. So if you want a tail. There you go. Brian Cook over 5.5.
Is your Kittle prop in any way correlated to National Tight Ends Day?
No, it's not, but that actually is, I guess.
How do you know that?
Someone said in the Discord I was ripping on them. If you celebrate
so weird.
If you celebrate National Tight Ends Day, just know that in real life we wouldn't be friends. Like we
is the last thing
we wouldn't have anything in common.
Yeah,
it popped up on Kyle's phone today. Kyle woke up and it popped up on his phone.
People were. I had a reminder set. People in the Discord were talking about like, oh, it's Tight Ends Day. Like Kittle and Kelsey, it's Tight Ends Day.
Yo,
Like, how do you even know it's tight ends day? All right.
Man, I wanted to rip you so bad for that. Damn.
Someone in the Discord said I was ripping
No, I
them.
believe you. I 100% believe you. That's not something that you just say. That's why I was like,
then
what?
NFL's like, let's just make a tight ends day. These morons will market anything we put out there. And everyone's like retweeting it. Tight ends day. All right, next
Didn't
up.
Kittle make the tight ends day because of his little tight ends camp, or am I just putting two things together that don't go?
Bro.
I think
All right.
I think that's true.
Thank you.
Toast knows the history of tight ends day. All right, Jets Steelers. Jets Steelers. Favorite bet of the day, Jets.
Wow.
2 weeks in a row, a
What?
super square road favorite
bet of
as
the
my favorite
day,
bet of the
dude?
week.
Favorite bet of the day?
Jets. Yep, I got
You
it
know
right.
that
Really?
You know that the Jets and the Giants are 4-1, 4-31 straight up when playing night prime time since 2019.
You know,
Does that
I
change your
could
mind,
give
Evan?
a shit about that. The Steelers
Okay.
are the Steelers are a terrible football team, and this should be more than 3. Plain and simple. The Steelers didn't even play well last week. The Raiders, 14 of the Steelers' points came on Raiders roughing the passers on 3rd and long. The Steelers are awful. Jets looked pretty good last week. They found a way to shoot themselves in the foot. Maybe they do the same thing here. The strength of the Steelers team is the pass rush. Jets have a great pass protection, even better with Morgan Moses back. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting the much better team on all levels here. I don't even know what aspect of this football game I expect the Steelers to win the battle in. I mean, maybe they're able to run the ball a little bit, but I mean, this is a Steelers offensive line that's now missing 3 starters. They haven't been able to run the ball much all year. Russell Wilson, I guess. Russell Wilson throwing on the Jets secondary seems kind of wild to me. Yeah, I mean, I know the trend is you take Mike Tomlin as a home dog, fade him as a road favorite, but you know what? He's been winning as a road favorite. I think the Jets win comfortably. Touchdown plus.
So, as somebody who capped the game yesterday, if you look at the numbers, I hate the matchup for the Jets.
What? It's a
hate-
perfect matchup for the
No,
Jets.
it's not. No, it's not. I mean, all the numbers are horrible for Rodgers in this matchup. And then if you look at Russell Wilson's numbers from last year, based off the Jets' current tendencies, he's actually pretty damn good against pressure. The Jets are one of the best defenses in the league in terms of bringing the pressure. And then in terms of man coverage, he was excellent against man coverage. Jets, one of the top teams in the league in terms of man coverage rate. But that's last year. And we have a new OC. And we have Devontae Adams now. So do the numbers even matter anymore? And then in terms of the Steelers offense, there's a new quarterback. So do those numbers even matter anymore? So it's like, throw all that shit out. Maybe you're just completely right. So I'm just not betting this game. And also, I hate the Jets. And they're my own favorite team. So I really don't want to bet this game. I don't even want to watch this game. The Jets have completely ruined the season for me. Really came in excited. God, I hate this team now. So, yep.
Do you guys not remember Sunday Night Football, Steelers, Cowboys? They lost to Dallas. Dallas isn't even good. They went in there and beat the
Dallas is
shit
terrible.
out of the Steelers in that game.
I'm shocked you said it's your favorite play. That's wild. Fading Mike Tomlin as a home underdog is your favorite play. Here's the deal, like what Beaver just said. I mean, it's Russell Wilson now. We don't know what to expect, so that's what makes me tentative on this one. I hate Russell Wilson. He's the only quarterback that brought me a Super Bowl. That's how much I don't like the guy. I don't think he's going to get worse than Justin Fields. He just doesn't bring much to the table when it comes to Fields. It's hard to say what we're going to get from him, but I lean Steelers here. I think the Steelers win at home. But if I had to do a player prop, I don't know what Garrett Wilson's line is doing at 4.5 receptions. Just because Devontae Adams is here. This guy has the second most receptions in the entire NFL. He's over this in 5 of 6 games already. He's averaging a little over 16 targets per game lately. Devontae Adams, I think, is going to help him be more efficient. He's going to open up the field a little bit. And I just don't understand this. He's facing a Steelers defense that can give up some receptions to receivers. Gave up 6 to Michael Pittman, 8 to to Mr. Downs there, 7 to Tolbert, 5 to CeeDee Lamb. I think this is just a great buy low spot. This line is like 1 or 2 catches too low. I love Garrett Wilson over 4.5 receptions, but I lean Steelers. This is one of those cases where I think Russell Wilson may come in and bring a little bit of a spark. He has been known to throw the deep ball well. Maybe he brings that aspect a little bit because we know Justin Fields was not doing that at all. I haven't made a bet on the side, but my best bet would be Garrett Wilson.
Someone said Steelers lost by 3 to the Cowboys. Kyle says Cowboys beat the shit out of them. The total yards was 240 to 220. They doubled them in total yards. It was an absolute beatdown. Prop Beaver, you went already. Toast.
I tailed you with the Jets. Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers hasn't lost 3 straight road games since 2015. And not to mention the fact I really don't like the spot for the Steelers in all seriousness. Teams that play in Vegas and then have to travel back home or somewhere else without having a week off. 11, 22, and 1 ATS, including 0 and 2 ATS this year. Just being in Vegas for a week or a few days and then having to travel without a little bit of rest hasn't been good for teams. So yeah, I did play the Jets. I played the money line at like -120 though. I didn't lay the 2.
I got it at -1.5.
That's why I played the money line when you bet it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jets up. Let's do some community. Oh wait, you didn't do the touch. Where was he? Didn't do. We didn't get Jabo's touchdown score.
No, he did, and I didn't
we didn't do the song. All right, do the community parlay song.
I didn't trigger.
Community parlay, the parlay we bet, yeah. Community parlay is for the community. We community, making a parlay. Yeah.
Just bad producing, man. Just bad fucking producing.
All right. Actually, I'll do the community parlay. You want to do your underdog?
Yep. 1 second. Let me just make sure we got the proper promo of the day up because
I wasn't saying
that
that.
Beaver.
Somebody sent me a trend that the Jets are 0-19 straight up after facing the Bills since 2012.
Wow.
That's what made me say, "Oh God."
We really blow our load in that game, huh?
I know.
How did Demario Douglas play and then say he left with an illness when I have his over receiving yards? Just don't play or don't leave sick in the first quarter. Come on. God.
Maybe he had a stomachache.
That really does suck. Okay, so for our underdog to dog.
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
One more time?
Just had a stroke. Just had a mild stroke. No big deal. We have a defibrillator on deck. Jerry Jeudy, higher than 45.5 receiving yards would be our first leg. DK Metcalf, higher than 68.5 receiving yards would be our second leg. And then George Kittle, higher than 53.5 receiving yards would be our third leg. If you do not have an underdog and would like to join in on the fun, well, you can add a fourth leg to the mix with Aaron Rodgers, higher than a half total yard. God, if you want to stay up for that game, I don't know if I will, but you can if you're in one of these eligible states. In yellow right there, you can get a deposit match up to $1,000, but that's up to 50% with the promo code BET. Yes, BET, 3 letters.
Someone just asked if the college community parlay hit. I should check that because
I don't know.
While Kyle's checking that, I also forgot to mention Big Boz over 1.5 field goals. I can't believe I forgot that. That's just disrespectful to me. I apologize.
Thank you. I also feel good about that underdog hitting.
Nope, Iowa blew it. Iowa lost to Michigan State.
Beaver, do I have a Boswell graphic?
Let me see. Let me check. If you sent it to Andy, you should have a Boswell graphic.
I was just curious.
Yeah, so Iowa blew the community parlay. Went 3 for 4.
All right, so let's get that thing up for you, boss. Okay.
Thank you, Beaver.
Text. Okay, I guess we'll do text too now. So community parlay.
Is the first leg up there?
Yes, it is the Packers.
Packers, okay.
Also, real quick, the betting public had its first winning week last week, going 10-3-1. They absolutely crushed the books. Yep.
I saw that. Yep.
Road favorites were like 6 or 7-0 or something like that.
ATS.
12-0 in the last 2 weeks. Road favorites.
How do you like that?
A lot of weekend warriors strutting their stuff this week. I'm so excited for that Mets game, though. Not gonna lie to you guys.
Yeah, after a week like that is always where you hear the biggest dummies in the comments. I mean, I actually had a good week.
You're an idiot,
so it's not like I did poorly. But yeah, that's always the week where you're like, you'll have people that are down significantly like, listen, guys, this is what you need to do.
I've had 2 back-to-back solid weeks, okay?
I know a thing or two.
Yeah, like the one guy in the comments today. He's like talking about, I'm up so much fading this guy. Like, you know, everyone can click on the link and see that it's public information. Can see that that's a lie. It's very strange.
I also will say that fading people, there's an epidemic of that. Just cap the freaking games yourself.
I don't even think people
Like getting to a point where it's just like, Jesus.
I don't even think people understand what the word fade even means.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
You just if you're on the other side of somebody, doesn't mean you're fading them. Like if you're fading someone, that means you're betting against whatever they say. You're betting against them. If I looked at the game and I'm on the Jets, and you looked at the game and you're on the Steelers, we're not fading. We're on the opposite side. I don't think people understand what fading means. When you're fading somebody, you're openly admitting that when you make your financial decisions, you go check with that person first, which is a really, really rough thing to admit. Like when people make fun of people on Twitter, like some of those accounts that people like, I fade this person. It's like you're openly admitting that you're their customer, that you go check with them before making your decisions. That's really, I wouldn't say that out loud.
That's what I do with Cam Taylor-Britt.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, well,
I heard that, Beaver.
Yeah, every
did you
Sunday.
really think about that? Like, who are you on tonight? Oh, I got to go check with the betting queen. Or that was just a random example where it's like, really? That's how you make
I was
your
trying
decisions?
so hard not to say that name.
There's nothing against her. I don't know her. She's whatever. That was just an example of one that people say. Like that's who you check with before you make your financial decisions.
Helms is pissed right now.
Helms is in shambles.
He's in shambles, doesn't know what to do.
He's like, you just leaked my financial information? Are you fucking kidding me?
Someone goes, I'm fading all of you. The Lions is the second poll. All right.
Yeah.
Don't fade my kicking props. Fade everything else.
Toast kicking props are like an ETF.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means, but thank you.
It's like a, honestly, I don't even know what that means, and I went to school. God. All those finance classes didn't really do much for me. Maybe I shouldn't have smoked before I went to school.
Oh, Beaver.
Cast your votes on the third leg.
Gotta love that Miami education.
Yeah, right?
Someone said betting queen's been hot.
I know for a fact.
I shouldn't have said her because now it looks like that. Like I
know. That's why
I don't know anything about her.
I can assure you guys, Kyle, the only reason Kyle knows who that is because of our Discord.
Because people in the Discord bring it up.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not very active on gambling Twitter. I pretty much post the schedule for the show, maybe the occasional Grimace meme. That's about it.
You guys, yeah. He'll call me and be like, "Do you know who this person is on Twitter?" I'll be like, stay away.
It's not a. I mean, philosophically speaking, I don't think anything worth saying can be said in 140 characters. Like, just doesn't make sense.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't pay for the premium on Twitter either, so you can tell who pays for it. I'm like trying to do.
I actually do pay for it, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I hear you loud and clear on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Commanders
money line. All right. So the second place finishers are Chiefs, Bengals, and Bills.
Jabbo, I also refuse to pay for that. So
It's a principle thing at this point.
I pay for. I'll pay for like the Athletic and all this stuff, but that $5 for Twitter, not gonna happen.
Nope. And my followers know when I can't get all my bets in one post.
I thought it was so worth it. I just kept making so many typos. I was like, oh, well, this is so worth it. Are you kidding me? Like, I actually can't go a tweet without making a typo. This is the most
I think most people.
This is the most worthwhile investment I've ever made.
Someone said, I don't Twitter and I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Sir, you are not.
No. See, the thing is, I kind of like having the burner Twitter because I don't have any psychos coming at me when my bets lose. And I just have the memes that I still need. Like the memes on Twitter are some of the best I've ever seen.
I was going to say,
it's truly a different breed on here. Facebook memes I don't need. They're too old. The picture quality is grainy. But Twitter memes, they're forever. They're golden. There's something that I hold near and dear to my heart.
Someone says, but you want people to pay for a Discord to talk to you? I don't want people to do anything. People do whatever they want. I don't even... where do you get the indication that I want people to... It's there for people who want to be a part of the group. I don't say anything like that. In fact, judging by that comment, I would probably say I don't want you to do that.
Please, for the love of God, do not bring that energy into the Discord. For the love of Christ.
Speaking of which, if you didn't submit your picks for the league today, you got 37 minutes, and I'm cutting it off. And anybody that submits right now, and this happened last week, anybody that submits right now, if you put the Jags-Patriots game in was one of your picks, it's counting as an automatic loss. You're not going to go pick Jags minus the points right now. I don't know if people thought that was gonna fly. So
Good try, though. Solid try.
why is there only 3 legs? The community parlay.
Well, was I supposed to make the fourth thing? I could do it.
Yeah, I said. I thought you heard me. It's Chiefs, Bengals, and Bills are the 3 second place finishers.
Well, you had made the first 3, so I just thought, it's all right.
Yeah, I thought we would do a.
It's okay. All right, it's loading. Hey.
Is the community hot in the NFL like they are in the MLB?
Well, it's tough because the community.
Oh, yeah,
it's not
sure,
that
yeah,
often.
Yeah, touche. My bad.
Can we talk about the Mario Davis Douglas being on IV this morning and nobody knowing? It's disgraceful. I feel for my guy Jabo.
I'm not happy. I hate starting the day like this. Is why I don't bet London games.
I feel
told
you,
myself
Jabo.
not-
I
I
feel
told myself
you.
not to. It's my first London bet, and it will never happen again.
Beaver said the same thing.
Someone was mentioning the Lions. It looks like they are the 1, 2, 3rd most public play on the board. So not ever. I guess someone said everyone's on the Giants. It says 74%. So I wouldn't say ever. It's definitely one of the more public plays on the board.
Who is the most public, just for record?
Oh,
Never mind. Sorry, I thought you had a list in front of you.
no,
My
I
bad.
did. I just closed it. The Bills.
Got it.
Bills, Eagles, then Lions. Oh, I'm sorry. Bengals and Lions are tied. Bills, Eagles, Bengals, Lions.
All right, so the community parlay is Packers money line, Lions money line, Commanders money line, Chiefs money line at plus 714.
It's $30 a month. It comes with the spreadsheets and the giveaways and stuff. All right. I don't know. And no one's selling anything. What is this?
Why are
guy doing?
you?
Yeah.
I was gonna say you let that. No, just let it
Nah,
go.
he's just muted.
You're like the one person that like doesn't try to sell.
I
what
know.
we-
I don't even say it. It's there for people
Like,
who want to be a part of the group.
Even
And
the
participate.
other night when we were talking about the shirts, you're like, you don't buy them. Just that's not what we're talking about. Like, so I wouldn't worry about that for 2 seconds.
714 is the community parlay. Packers money line, Lions money line, Commanders money line, Chiefs money line plus 714. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Let's have a great Sunday. Please remember to bet responsibly. Yeah, let's go Jets tonight. Get your picks in for the league. If you're participating, yeah, hit me up if you need me. Let's